can we learn from the past to the future? Can we decide based on what happened already in the past to the future? So the basic example is when we flip a coin 10 times and it's tails or whatever we got, can we deduce from that anything about the future? The question, of course, is not. That's what probability and statistics taught us, that we can't know anything. Doesn't matter what happened in the past, the future is unpredictable. You can't predict the future. On the other end, we have other situations such as not going to the woods alone or not eating food that is not good for us. We can learn, and we know almost with 100% confidence that this food is not good for us. Will make us sick, and it's almost 100% sure. So we can say from one hand we can learn from the future, and the other end we can't learn from the past. From one hand we learn from the past, on the other we can't. Another good example is always says, not that I agree with it or not, regardless, but the idea is, will socialism work? We always say, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because look what happened in the Soviet Union and Russia and more countries, so like China and all the Soviet and socialist countries didn't work. But can you say anything about America? Will it not work in America? You don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. Of course, you can say, yeah, the past taught us such and such, but still you have this, maybe it will work. You can be sure. Maybe you can be more confident with it, but we can't be totally sure. Another good example is evolution. Evolution is the perfect example if we can learn from the past or not, because for example, specific behavior, eating a lot of meat, just take an example. Is it good or bad, evolutionary wise? And we can say, yeah, that's good, or that's bad because this is not how we used to do that, or this is not, we're not equipped to eat a lot of meat during the day. It doesn't have to be the meat example. It can be any other example. Can you say, the question is basically is, can you say something about evolution? This is not correct. This is not good for evolution. And what I will argue is that you can't say such a thing because there is no such a thing bad for evolution, because based on your past learning or past statistics, because the fact that it didn't help in the past does not entails anything about what's going to happen in the future. So that's why I think it's a good example. So can we learn, or can we learn anything about the future? The only thing I can say is that maybe this whole statistic thing, that we can take big numbers and perform any type of statistic on them, and based on that we get some kind of results, will work or won't work. Maybe that's just a theory out there. Maybe this is the way of evolution to try to correct herself in some way. I don't know if it makes sense, but so yes, there is some things we can learn from the future about, from the past about the future, and this is why we have statistics. But so that's the idea. So this is why we even developed. So like evolution helped us to develop in some way statistics, because it helps to correct mistakes that should be avoided. That's the theory. But still we have the problem of it's not going to be correct always. We always have some probability of having a mistake, and maybe that's okay. But I think the question can we learn from the past should be always be asked. And I think that's the idea, is that you can't be always sure, and it's not guaranteed to be working. It is true that some ways you can learn and some you can't. So sometimes you can say, I can learn from the past. So things like, this kind of food is bad for me, and with more time you do that, you can be more confident. But with other things, maybe more behavioral based actions, or less can less be learned from the past. But it's an interesting topic. That's it. That's all I have. Adios.